Let's join our commentary team, Rod Studd and John Gwynn.
Yes, thank you very much. Here we go again then. Group A determined. We know two of the semi-finalists. Who's going to join the Netherlands and Australia in the semi-finals tomorrow? Spain, Scotland, Wales, USA in Group B. Spain and the USA on the hockey now. And, well, we know the USA beat Sweden 6-4 yesterday, but Spain beat Japan 6-3 to qualify to play England. And Rod, I know it's repetition, but what a win. 6-5 against Taylor and Wade.
Yep, win, a shock right off the Sporting Richter scale. The big question is, can they possibly back it up tonight? Rodriguez and Alcinas said last night they'd have difficulty sleeping after that. How can they come out and play? How can they possibly reach that level again? Bill Davis has got other ideas here about Spain's start. He's looking to start with a maximum.
Yes, indeed, and difficulty to sleep. They could be in for a rude awakening here because Davis and his skipper, of course, Darren Young, who we'll see later, very experienced performers.
100.
Yeah, Davis and Young, regulars in big tournaments. Bill Davis knocked John Part out of the World Championships a couple of years back, and Part was a defending champ, in fact. And Darren Young had a nice little run at the Andy Pally last year before Terry Jenkins knocked him off.
Yes, I remember that Bill Davis-John Part game, and that was a major shock, although there were some people, myself included, who knew that
100.
Davis, pretty performer on his day, can be a threat. Billy from Philly on the hockey. But I've got to say, Rod, was that the Spanish final yesterday in beating England? It so often can be the case. Rising to such heights again, difficult.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot actually. Players that have beaten Phil Taylor haven't backed up. We saw Lewis at the Grand Slam, didn't we? That magnificent semi-final win over Taylor, couldn't back up against Wade, ran out of steam in the final, for example. So the USA got a good chance here, first up against Spain, who are probably still buzzing after last night. Davis leaves 80.
Yes, after just 12 darts, so possible 14 darter for the American. But the Spaniard making sure that at least he's in contention should Davis miss this. And now another one of those. Nicely positioned, plenty of room here for the double.
40. Spain require 117.
Well, we saw some big finishes from Rodriguez last night. A 1-2-5 stands out in the memory. And this is on too. 17 for tops. Double top for Rodriguez.
77. United States require 40.
Although both of them a long way from the double that they were aiming at the moment. 40 it still is. Not a bad dart at all. Just a fraction under. And I just have a feeling, but Bill Davis delays his throw just a little too long sometimes. When you've got a marker like that first one, Rod, why not follow it?
40.
Why not follow it as quickly as you can?
He's a very nervous individual, Bill Davis, isn't he? Rodriguez not so, calm as you like. The man they call the Spanish assassin. It's home, they lead 1-0. Davis's edge, you can see him almost, he almost appears to be fighting his nerves all the time, Bill Davis, doesn't he?
Yes, and he suddenly came to an abrupt stop at the first visit in that first leg, and I think that one of the things that these overseas players have got to get used to is the fact that there's crowd participation now, far more than they are used to.
Yeah, you really do want to get in a flow, don't you? You don't want to stop and starting. It needs to be flow, rather than slow, quick, slow, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's a lovely first dart. Can't say that of the second though.
68.
Well, 68. Only 8 with the last 2 darts.
Leaves 3-3-3. Treble Nelson in cricketing terms. John. Oh, another maximum for Rodriguez, rather. We saw him and Alcinas hit one in the last leg against England last night.
Well, he's no stranger to the Sky screen, of course, Rodriguez, and he's already shown in this match that he has what it takes to pick up the points here,
54.
or the point anyway.
Yeah, very important for Spain to start well here and show people it wasn't some kind of flash in the darting pan last night.
137.
.92 to leave
United
90.
States
Thinking about
required
it.
96.
Davis here to level up. He needs this. Can't afford to go two. That's a lovely first start. Double 18 then. For a very proficient finish. A 14 dart leg. One leg all.
Spain to run first.
A good finish by Davis there. Clean 2 dart finish.
Thank you.
He'll be pleased with that. As the oldest man on show in this match, Bill Davis, at just one more than a bullseye, 51.
135.
Yeah, first came across him, it would be 8 years ago at Las Vegas, Bill Davis, and acquitted himself well. One of the top American players now for the best part of a decade.
47.
First visit to the World Championships 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was the last year we were at the Circus Tavern that he came, and he was just a touch overawed on that occasion.
Yeah, good darts from Bill Davis. Poor start to the leg, but that certainly picked up the pace. Where the format is, it's a point each for singles matches
83.
and 2 for the double. So the doubles really is not the be-all and end-all, John, but certainly a large chunk of the be-all and end-all, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's the determining factor in the end. You can actually lose the first 2 games, the 2 singles, and still
98.
Somehow manage to claw your way back to level the match. That's the beauty of it.
Door open for Davis then. Let's see if Bill can make him pay.
Well, terrific. You said door open, and well, it's even wider open now. But Rodriguez here needed the treble 20 first. Now then, puts himself in with a shout here with big 20.
100.
Perilously close, John, wasn't it? To hitting another treble, which would have bust his score.
Yes, it would have done indeed. So 17 for tops for Davis to go 2-1 up.
Here's the pause again, John, isn't it? He must know it's 17 tops. I mean, it's almost automatic. So tops.
62.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it? I mean,
Not the most rhythmical of players,
40.
and I'm not sure that has served him as well as it might have done over the years, because this fella Rodriguez just takes about half the time. I came to see Phil,
Game on.
but got the lads from Spain.
yeah, Davis, it is strange. It does have that nervous backing off from the hockey. 82, every pro knows bull double 16, out of bullet 17 tops. Everyone knows it's automatic, so why?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's miscalculation. I just think it's settling himself, and it's almost a nervous sort of reaction, if you like, Rod.
He's got problems now, Davis. Got to win the last 2 legs to get the first point on the board.
Now he speeded up a bit there. He speeded up. That was far more rhythmical, and he got a 140. think he'd be a better player if he just upped the ante a touch.
100.
Spain trying to dish out some more pain here. Result last night reverberating round the darting world. Taylor and Wade beaten by Rodriguez and Alcinas. 6-5 in an amazing game, and that last leg will live long in the memory. 99, 180, 180, 42 in 2 darts from Alcinas. Breathtaking.
100.
It was indeed made for good television, and I know two men wouldn't agree with me, Mrs. Taylor and Wade, but you win a lot, you lose some. Leaves 135. Could level up at 2-all here, the American, but this Spaniard has other ideas.
135.
It's the doubling that's made the difference.
United States require 135.
Last night, 86% checkouts against England. And he's not going out here, Bill Davis, that's for sure, because he's missed the outer ball. Can't go out now. And clickety-click time for Rodriguez. With 66, John, for the match.
103.
Yes, Rodriguez
Spain
then,
requires
66,
66.
clickety-click, and which way does he go? 10, no, 16, leaves tops for a 3-1 victory. Unlucky,
46.
just under.
United
Reckons
States
he needed
require
it.
32.
Could have won the match with that, but can the American level up?
And he saved the match. 2 16s. Well, it's unfortunate. Can he feather it in? He can. Lovely second dart from Bill Davis.
United States.
A smile of satisfaction from the tall American. 2-2.
Game on. Thank you.
Yes, you could say in Spanish, double dose. 2-2, but here we go for the decider.
57.
Well, Rodriguez had advantage of throw, but that advantage might disappear here very quickly if Davis can bang in a couple of big trebles. No.
45.
Not clever. Not what he wanted. Inauspicious start by both players. Maybe nerves. This is a seriously important leg.
96.
That's clung on by the very tip of the dart. An important one too. Yeah, you can see why. This is a really big game for these players, isn't it? There's a chance to play in the World Cup semi-final if they can get through tonight. I mean, that's a huge incentive.
Absolutely, Rod, and they've got 3 matches tonight. Losing in the first is not helpful, but it is not the end, especially 59. If you can pick up a point.
We've heard today from some of the greatest players in the world who've played on the biggest stages and won the biggest matches, like Ray van Barneveld and Simon Whitlock, and they've admitted to being really nervous playing in this team format for their country. So no wonder if these guys are nervous as well.
83.
Only 83, hop, skip and a jump as he collects the dart from the board there, and most certainly a chance for Rodriguez here if he can hit that treble.
45.
Davis, favourite from here. The lead is only 11 points. But at this stage of a leg, that could be worth a lot because he's potentially only half a dozen darts away from the finishing line. I reckon if he can go out in 9 from here, John, he'll probably win, but he won't do if he carries on throwing like that.
Well, he went for the treble 18 there, but in the end that does give Rodriguez a definite chance here. A score. That's a lovely first dart. Oh yes, he's making a move now. Bueno! Perfection! And Rodriguez suddenly changes the leg.
Lessons in Spanish alongside the darts from John Gwynn.
138.
64 for Rodriguez to win and put a first point on the board for Spain. Well, 1 dart a double, which is his choice? Probably tops, I'd imagine. Yeah, 8 for tops then for the match. Yes! What a win for Spain! Tremendous victory for Carlos Rodriguez. And Spain are off and running. They defeated England last night. They've got the first point on the board against the States.
Phil, you can see how much they grow in stature, and you know, I mean, it is a great feat to get up on that big stage in front of the live, Sky audience and beat the two best players in the world.
A big favourite of the US fans, Big Daddy Darren Young. Tell us about him as a player.
Yeah, he's a good solid player, big left-hand fella. Gets up, adrenaline runs really rich with him. He really does get emotional. He's a good, solid player, and he's really got to go, the Spaniard, to beat him today.
Yeah, the Spaniard by the name of Antonio Alcinas, who played a massive part in that victory over England.
Well, he took out the winning double, don't get any bigger than that. I think that this first leg, as we always say, is so important for him. If he can settle in and get this first leg under his belt, then he'll relax a lot more.
OK, back to John Gwynn and Rod Studd.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Rod. Well, the stature of the two men, it's almost like Value-Ev against Hay. It's Big Daddy Darren Young
85.
against Antonio Alcinas. But we all know, John, what happened between Value-Ev and Hay.
You did right there, Rod. Yes, we've just seen a wonderful Spanish performance, going one up in this first match in the Group B section of the competition. And Alcinas from Mallorca, many people will know the island of Mallorca, of course. Campos there, he's travelled over to the northeast of England. I don't know what he thinks about the weather around here, but when you come to this country in December, it's not going to be as hot as Mallorca in July.
60.
You won't mind about the weather if they're going home with the World Cup. It would be one of the biggest success stories, the biggest shocks in the history, not just of darts, John, but of any sport you care to name.
Well, it would go nicely alongside the Soccer World Cup, which they won in South Africa earlier this year, wouldn't it?
It was a little bit more expected, though.
Well,
John,
I grant that. I grant that.
Yeah.
26.
This would be, I mean, almost unimaginable shock. I mean, it's almost incalculable in terms of the odds. They were outside as 1,000 to 1, and well, virtually name your own price. Spain last night before they played England. Not sure to now.
81.
Yes, I was going to say you could win a lot of pesetas, but there aren't any more pesetas, of course. They're very much in the Eurozone, and these two players are very much in the darting zone. No problem in finding the treble there, and an early advantage here to the Spaniard, although this man, Darren Young, American #1 for some little while now, and
81.
steady
Spain
performer,
115.
very much respected in the game.
Well, he's here again. He took out that 42 to beat England. Now he's looking at a tops to check out 115. Like shelling peas. They're all coming alike.
Second leg, United States to
Talk about
game on.
A cricket ball looking like a football to a batsman's in form. Those doubles must look as wide as the Grand Canyon to the Spanish tonight. I mean, they're just not missing, are they?
That's right, and Darren Young probably knows more about the Grand Canyon than does Alcinas, but I'll tell you what,
60.
he certainly is. He's made the start that he wanted anyway. 115 finish to make his mark on the first leg. Alcinas and Young has got it to do here.
Yeah, just a reminder how it works. A point for the singles matches, 2 for the double. At the end of the 3 round robin matches, you just simply add up all the points the two teams have got the most cumulatively,
59.
regardless of how they've got them, how many games they've won. That's how we decide who's going through to join the semis, alongside the Netherlands and Australia, who made it through this afternoon.
Steady 95.
Wales and Scotland to come next. Home international.
100.
Yes, with a Celtic flair all right there, and 4 very good British players up next, as you quite rightly point out, Rodney.
78.
but we've got Latins and Americans at the moment, and
60.
not over important. If you lose your first game, you're still in with a shout. Go out and win your next two. You'll probably qualify.
100.
But nonetheless, it's always better to start with that victory under your belt and put yourself in pole position.
Well, he's going to leave a finish here, and then some. Alfinas, and then some. Well, he's left himself the 42. That's what they went out on last night against England to win the match in the final leg. So he knows how to deal with 42. Young, can he get rid of 91, John?
Well, he's going to give it a go. 41 left. Now then, Topsy wants. This will be a big check out. It super stuff from the American. Great 180 from the Spaniard. And when asked, when he needed it, Darren Young, skipper of the United States, stood tall.
Well, they're all chanting USA, USA out there. I thought we were in Madison Square Garden for a minute, John.
100.
Big Daddy, Darren Young, levels the score.
Yes, Madison's back garden maybe, Rod, I don't know, but
40.
when Stuart Pike and I were over in the States in 2006, we visited Madison Square Garden just outside Penn Station there in New York.
41.
Thrilling experience. Then caught the train north up to Connecticut. Very close to where this man lives, actually, in Whitehaven. 2 words, not the Whitehaven in Cumbria, of course.
Oh, not to be confused. They're in good health.
40.
Well, the Young's superb 91 checkout there has just shaken Alfinas out of his stride a little bit. I'll tell you what, John, if the Americans do get through to the semi-finals,
66.
there'll be teams from all over the darting globe, all 4 corners. We've got Holland, Australia. If America got through with Scotland, Wales or Spain, it'd have been a cosmopolitan lineup, wouldn't it?
It would indeed, yes. Intercontinental. Marvellous, really, to have 23 teams here represented, different parts of the world, and 2 guaranteed a place tomorrow in the competition, 2 others to be determined tonight.
Well, Alfinas will play James Wade in the World Championship, and that, until yesterday, looked like a pretty run-of-the-mill kind of fixture, first round game, not much to recommend it to anyone. I tell you what, now it's a huge game, isn't it? We're all absolutely licking our lips at the prospect of a rematch.
Well, that's right. James Wade will be looking for revenge, won't he? But it's a different stage, a different occasion, and an entirely different matter.
He's already thrashed Wade on the tour this season in Salzburg, Austria. Actually annihilated him 6-3 with darts like this.
140.
Well, a great ton 40 to leave him on 80. This is a competitive game and a competitive leg. 78 wanted. Double 12. Double 6 for the left-handed American. No problem, boys. Double 6 it is. And the Americans lead 2-1.
Yeah, they're the crucial finishes. Those are the things I look for a lot in a game of darts, John. The ones where the 2 dart finishes, 78, 91, 84, these kind of, if you can mop those up, they're 60. The kind of finishes that make a huge difference in darts. I know we like to see the spectacular finishes, but those ones are crucial, aren't they? Those 2 darters.
Absolutely. I mean, as you mentioned, the 91 he got with the bull 1 double top, first leg, was it? Second leg, rather, previous leg, and then the 78 picking it out. Third dart, and
86.
Young here making a bid to try and finish it off here, but he knows that he's got the darts next leg if he doesn't. But he'd rather finish it off here and now. Level up the total score. España 1, United States of America 0 at the moment.
Yep, courtesy of Rodriguez's victory over Bill Davis. 3-2, we've seen a lot of 3-2s.
80.
Alcinas will be hoping we see another 3-2 here.
Yes, every chance it could be him. 50-50 anyway.
100.
There's only one player wins if it's 3-1, and that's this man, Big Daddy, Darren Young.
Yeah, we know Young's a very good player, as you mentioned, John. He's been around for a while. Alcinas has only come onto the tour this year, but already I mentioned he'd beaten James Wade in Salzburg, but he's also beaten Mark Webster. He's beaten Steve Beaton, he's beaten Wesley Newton. These are top quality, top 32 players, aren't they?
Well, he's making a mark, isn't he? He's getting himself known with victories like that. And, you know, there's a realisation that beyond our own shores, there are more and more, certainly in Europe, more and more players coming through and taking up the challenge that's been thrown down to them. Here we go again, 120, treble 20 for tops. Can't do it now. Can the Americans finish this match off with a magical 1-3-5 rod?
Well, he'll need to go for the bull to start with. Outer bull's okay. Treble 20 would leave the bull. No. 60 going, John. 2 darter. These are the ones we've been talking about. Got to get rid of this because tops is what Young's left himself.
Yes, absolutely crucial that Alcinas gets this. Now then, tops. Double 10. Well, he wasn't equal to it, and he may not be back to the hockey in this match, but he will be back, of course, for the pairs that follows this.
Tops for Darren Young. Darren Young levels the scores in this match. It's a point apiece. Young has defeated Alcinas by 3 legs to 1. It's the stakes one. Spain,
big toe.
Yeah, whoever wins this will be up onto 3 points. And, well, the Netherlands had 9 when they qualified, Australia 8, so they'll be round about a third of the way there after one of their 3 matches. There's some horrific weather up here in the northeast. Snow, blizzards, freezing temperatures, but what we're really asking is lightning going to strike twice in 2 nights here at the darts?
Well, there'll be thunderous applause if it does, because although the Spaniards knocked out England, I think that there's healthy respect for them. I think the majority of this audience, as has already been suggested, are behind the Americans. Well, we did have a little WikiLeaks about the special arrangement and the fact that it's not really quite what we think it is. So come on, you Spaniards, and let's show these Americans what we Europeans can do. No, I'm not really taking sides, Rob.
Well, that's in. That's a great start for Rodriguez. Americans had the throw in this leg, so they have the advantage. Still the same in terms of number of legs. Best of 5, first to 3. Could be first to 3 in the red bit here.
140.
Oh, yes. Almost the lot for Bill Davis. But what a leg so far for the Americans.
45.
Yes, healthy lead with throw now. Young and Davis. Surely from this position. Needs a treble though to rubber stamp it.
59.
The Americans seeded 8 in this tournament. Beat Sweden to qualify for this stage. 6-4 win over the Swedes. And if we hadn't witnessed what we'd seen last night from the Spaniards, the Americans would be the strong favourites, wouldn't they? If we'd have been just playing this tomorrow, yesterday afternoon, should I say?
Yes, I think it's surprising how many of these sides in this competition are quite evenly matched in
60.
many ways. And don't be surprised tonight if we see some real thrillers. Matches to come, and
85.
5 to come yet, and plenty of fun here in the northeast.
We wanted 182, and that's the one. Well, 81 leaves 101, so they're going to get a first crack at it, whatever Rodriguez and Alcinas do. The person of Carlos Rodriguez The boys with the stars and the stripes on their shirts are going to have first go at the checkout.
60.
Only 60.
United States
so
require 101.
now then 81 left. Is he going to go treble 19? Well, that was what he was attempting.
49.
Well, 52
Spain
when he goes, and
require
well,
130.
he could do something about this, Rod. Althenas.
Not now, not now. 130 is a good finish, isn't it? It's the lowest finish that you can hit with just one treble, isn't it? Well, highest finish you hit with just one treble, should I say?
Yes.
12 for tops. The Big Daddy on his singles match, and sets the Americans on the way in the doubles too.
Second leg.
Yes, that was cool. That was
Game on.
experience personified there in Darren Young, and one up here in this effectively deciding
78.
match. It's 2 points in the doubles, so that one apiece will read at the end of this particular game 3-1 or 1-3, and one of these teams will have a discernible advantage after the first game of this group, and other games to come next. Wales against Scotland, then it's Spain against Wales, USA against Scotland, Spain versus Scotland, and then USA versus Wales. It's going to be a nail-biting night, folks.
100.
You wonder, John, what will happen if Spain lose this doubles game and hence only pick up 1 point from their first match. How it will affect them. They'll have come in here full of confidence, full of excitement. To lose first time up could be like sticking a pin in a balloon, couldn't it?
Well, it could, but their hopes will not have been entirely burst, because, as I say, match 3 they placed
26.
Wales, match 5 they placed
Spain
Scotland,
require
and that's the beauty of
158.
this competition. You can still rectify matters. Of course, it's better if you do win your first match. It does help
58.
so much more.
Well, they should level here, shouldn't they? They should level here. With a round ton against their name at the moment. Well, 6 darts at it.
46.
For the Spanish.
Spain require 100.
Tends to blow hot and cold, Bill Davis, and that was one of the colder shots. The treble 17 here, he knows it, gets
42.
the single, and 58 left, but be careful here, Young won't want to score 60, it leaves him on a bogey, so he'll come down for 19s here. All you pub players take note.
59.
Number of lads I see,
Spain
they'll run on
require
229 and they'll
58.
hit 60, and then wonder why they lose sometimes, the close matches.
Missed 2 big numbers here, Althenas. Missed the 18, hit 1. Missed the 17, hit 2.
18.
Was hit the 15.
United States require 170.
It's unlikely that they're going to be made to pay, but you never know, John, do you?
Well, I said he blows hot and cold. He could have done with a very, very hot one there, couldn't he? Good attempt, actually, at the treble, but needed them in.
60.
And still favourites
Spain
then.
require 40.
So here we go for Mr. Rodriguez. And double 10. Oh, fraction inside.
Well, now this is interesting
20
because
score.
Althenas should have had 2
United
darts at a double on his last
States
visit. He got
require
none,
110.
John, because he missed 2 big numbers. So could be very, very costly if Darren Young could have taken out 110.
46.
Right. Now,
Spain
crucial,
require
crucial,
20.
crucial.
Yeah, can't afford to miss again. You fancy the Americans might take
Game
advantage,
shot,
doesn't?
second leg.
That was a long leg,
Spain.
and I know they don't play cricket in
Third leg,
America or
United
Spain, but
States
that'll
to
do, it won't it? It was a
Game
long
on.
leg. It needn't have been, but the main thing is, as far as the Spaniards are concerned, it's 1 apiece. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1 apiece in 12 darts or 22.
It was a long leg, John. We saw a few slips there and during it as well, didn't we?
121.
Well, this is a big leg, this third leg of a match, John. We've discussed this before, haven't we? Because if you go 2-1 up, you know that even if you get pegged back to 2-2, you will have throw in the last leg of the match, the fifth and final leg.
121.
Rodriguez.
Yes, of course, if every leg goes with throw, that's the case anyway. But I know where you're coming from. We do see one team win 2 on the trot, and therefore give the throw to the other side, and they hit back. I'd rather like that, and more innovation in PDC darts.
100.
Certainly an interesting one.
Rodriguez.
Lots of scores in the 90s there from the American, the left-hander Rod in this match, but they served their purpose.
100.
Rodriguez, the Spanish assassin. Carlos Rodriguez. The King Carlos if they won the World Cup. John?
Yes, indeed. And who?
59.
Yes, won the Football World Cup as we mentioned earlier, but like England, didn't win the World Cup
United
bid.
States require 140.
2018, they'll have been disappointed too, I'm sure, Spain and Portugal, as Young looks at 140. The Spaniards here, great opportunity against the throw here, Rod, to take this leg and go 2 legs to 1 up, 1 away from picking up all 3 points. Oh yes, tops here for Rodriguez. It'll be a great finish.
100.
Underneath, he's annoyed with
United
himself.
States require 112.
I bet James Wade and Phil Taylor are wishing that they'd finished like that last night. They could hardly miss a double last night. Needs a treble, needs the treble 20. So, the Spaniards are coming back for double 10. The double that they hit 52. To win the last leg. That was Alcinas.
20.
Can he repeat the feat?
Well, he can now. Well, he knows where that double 10 is. And 2-1 now to Rodriguez and Alcinas. And it's the Americans throwing first for the second leg running to try and save this match.
Points on the floor for the States. Their hopes will be going through the floor if they lose this game. Theoretically, John, for both teams, this is their, on paper, easiest game of the night. The rankings suggest that Scotland and Wales are the 2 strongest teams in this group, so they can ill afford to get off to a losing start, both teams really.
That's right, Rod, that's right.
61.
And I suppose both of these teams will be quite happy if the next game we see on the hockey is a draw. It is possible to get a draw, of course.
60.
If you win your 2 singles but lose your doubles, it's 2 points apiece, and that's what these 2 teams will be hoping. What happens next?
140.
Our following match.
Southpaw, Darren Young. We're going to see another left-hander later. Next match-up, Mark Webster of Wales.
134.
There's no mean exponent of the treble 19 himself, but we just saw Young nail a couple of times there. Close leg this one, John.
140.
Yes, and maybe a short leg, because 160 wanted here after just 9 darts. You never know. One thing about doubles, you don't have a third man, do you?
92.
92.
Spain
Useful but needed more.
160.
Yeah, 6 darts from here, John. They can go out in 12, but even 15 will get them over the finishing line because Young and Davis aren't within range.
40.
That's not the best.
No, Rodriguez is not getting the best of support there from his partner when they home in on that final finish. He's rather letting him down. He'll be aware of it, and he's certainly not doing it deliberately.
120.
So 120 wanted. Came very close, didn't he, last game to getting it? Last leg. Now then, will he do better than he did last time by getting double top
for the match. Yes, he has.